Welcome to the show, Now with Jen. Today, my guest is Trish with Derma Health. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So Derma Health has a huge presence all over the Valley. You have multiple locations. Please share what Derma Health is.
So Derma Health is a laser skin and healthcare facility. And originally, it was all around inspiring and encouraging women, making them the best version of themselves. So we prevent and reverse aging might be an easy way to say it. But it's not just for women any longer. So this industry that I'm in, I feel like I somewhat pioneered it 16 years ago. It's just exploded. And so it's very popular. It's very popular with men, with women, with millennials, whatever age group.
So I didn't realize that the mission from the beginning was just to focus on women.
It was, yeah. That's what got me into the business. So I really, when I got started in business in general, I had a woman that really took me under her wing. And so I wanted to take that and pass it along. So a big, huge portion of what we did was I created this to uplift, inspire, and encourage women.
So how did you get into this? Because that isn't from what I understand, it's not your background to necessarily be in this industry. You have a different education and background.
Yeah, my background is finance, and that's how I ended up in an entrepreneurial software company. And then ultimately, as their CFO, became their CEO and got the entrepreneurial bug. But Suzanne Summers' books, if you've ever read her books on it, the one that really inspired me was called The Sexy Years. And she talks about aging, and she talks about how important it is to, you don't have to feel your age, you don't have to look your age. And she went through a lot of that, and it really inspired me, and especially with I just have a love for health and fitness. So it encouraged me to research and find out more. And I think that entrepreneurial background that I had was what helped me just say, I'm going to launch this.
But you really were forward thinking at that time, because you said just now about pioneering in that industry.
Yeah.
And you're young, and you were much younger then too.
Yeah.
So how at that age did you think about aging? I mean, where did that,
Well, I think it related back to just nutrition. I love the idea of nutrition. That was what really got me into reading a lot of books about that. That was what got me off onto Suzanne Summers' books about being healthy, fit, that sort of thing. And so that's what got me over to that. But yeah, I come out of business background where we worked with venture capitalists. So venture capitalists are always saying, look for the next big market. Where are people going to go? And I kept thinking, I'm in the Phoenix area, so we have a lot of winter visitors. We have a lot of retired people. What are people going to want that age? So that's where a lot of my research took me, and then that's when I really fell into, wow, this is it. This is what I was looking for.
And clearly taking a risk wasn't something you were worried about. I mean, you were kind of fearless in taking that risk too.
No, I don't know. I did. I had a lot of anxiety about how to start this, how to leave a nice six-figure job in software, and yeah, it was hard. I had to make that leap. I had to give up that salary. I had to say I've got to pay for myself and others, and so no, it wasn't easy, but I did it. I remember when I gave my notice at the software company I was at, and I'd already talked to my husband about it over and over. I came home and he said, "You quit your job?" I'm like, we talked about it.
Right.
It was just perfect
I didn't
timing
think you were really
today.
going to do
It
it.
just worked.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
So the industry has really grown a lot, and technology plays a big part into those services where you don't have to do surgical, and you can do non-surgical services on your face and on your body that have, just as much of an impact and results as some of the surgical.
Yeah.
So I would guess that's a big part of staying up with your competitors and differentiating yourself.
Yeah, it is a big thing. The technology is changing quickly, and it's expensive technology. So what you invest in, you better be sure what you've got is right, because you do have to get your clients results. They are not surgery, as you indicated, but they don't have the downtime associated with it either, and that's what people love about this. So yeah, we have probably every year we're investing in something. But we just did like a major overhaul just about 4 years ago, just because everything had changed so drastically. We made some big investments then, but
that's great.
yeah.
And so do you have some stories of how, or a story that shows the impact, some of the work that you've done with the women or individuals that are clients?
You know, I have amazing stories. So I can tell you a number of things. Like we go anywhere from, we had a lady, for example, that she was in a car accident. She was in a bad car accident, and she'd gone through lots of plastic surgery, but it leaves asymmetry, it leaves uneven texture, things like that. And you can actually fix that. You can fix that a lot with fillers. You can do it with contouring of the face. And that's the real emotional side to it, that you can really affect somebody. I can think of another client that had Bell's palsy and said she had never taken a family photo because of that.
Wow.
And we used filler in that case and just totally, shored up each side, balanced it out. And, his life, that stuff is life-changing.
That's transforming to them.
That's life-changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you go to ASU because you are very passionate and a big supporter, so we share that in common. We both love ASU, go Devils.
Yes.
So you're really involved in supporting alumni and the entrepreneurs. So where did that come from, that tie with ASU? Did you go to ASU?
So I went to ASU, graduated with my accounting degree. And I was out for, 20 years out of college and never had any connection back with ASU. And I lost my husband of 32 years, 8 years ago. And that was one of my things I put on my Post-it notes. I said, I have to redefine my life. What is it going to look like? Of course, my business life remained consistent, but how do I redefine my personal life? And that was one of the things was I'd love to get re-involved with ASU. So be careful what you wish for, because here I am.
They sucked you in.
In everything. I'm in everything. And I just so happened to have other friends that were involved in it. And, they were on the sporting side, but I got involved on the alumni board and served on there as the chairman of the board and then got onto the board of trustees and Sun Devil Athletics. And
yeah. Well, you're great at supporting other entrepreneurs, ASU alumni or not, just like you talked about women and female entrepreneurs, because you've been there and you've had people along the way that have done that for you. So it's really great that you can find that way to give back. Yeah. So you mentioned there was someone who did that for you. Is there a woman that you said?
Yeah, when I got into the software industry, it was working for a startup software company, and it was woman-owned, and it was such a different experience because out of college, I went to work for the great big, back then it was called the Big 8 accounting firms. But yeah, that was very much a man's world and very different than going to a software company, which was trendy and hip, and working for a female that helped me with the softer side, helped me with the coaching of people, developing people. And so I used to say she had created kind of a people machine, because that's what she'd do. She'd take people and turn them into amazing individuals, grow them to, heights they hadn't been at before. So she did that for me, and that's where I really wanted to pass that along. And that's one of the things that we do at Derma Health is, really work with our employees to coach, to develop, to push them to their limits. And
well, they have to have that connection with the people that they're dealing with too. So to build their confidence up as part of the staff to, when the client comes in, make them feel special and make them feel important too.
Yeah, when they're your service providers, they are the face to the entire company. So if they're happy, then they bring happiness to the people coming through the doors. Yeah.
All right, so what do you do as an outlet? Where's your balance in your busy life of running this company?
Yeah. I love golf, so I do a lot of golfing. I grew up in South Dakota, so I come from, I love sports cars, and I love Corvettes in particular, and motorcycles.
Does one have a Sun Devil license plate?
They both, they all do, yes.
Just making sure.
Yeah. And then I'm a Harley girl, so.
Wow, I don't think I knew that.
Yep. I go to the Sturgis bike rallies every year.
Wow.
And yeah, love my Harley Davidson, although I just switched over to an Indian last year, so.
So you're a motorcyclist.
I'm a
though.
motorcyclist.
How
yes.
often do you try to get out?
We, when it's nice out, we'll try to get the bikes out every weekend.
Wow, that's
But
great.
yeah, if it's hot, we'll load them up into a trailer and take them up to the
Go
high
north
country
and-
and go north.
Good for you. I love motorcycles. I like being in the back of the motorcycle, not riding it. That's got to be pretty empowering, like to be.
It feels good. I grew up in South Dakota, I was telling you that, and I loved horses. So this is my iron version of a horse, I think.
Okay. Well, you could have a horse
Yeah.
here in Arizona.
Yes.
There's lots of horse property and areas for that too.
Yeah, I could.
So I think for me, the most important question I need to ask you, and I'm pretty sure I know how you're going to answer this, but the Territorial Cup with ASU and U of A. I mean, I can't say that I'm going to bet you because we're going to be on the same side. But what do you think? Do you think that the team has a chance this year?
Yes. I was telling you, I was on the athletic board, Sun Devil athletic board at ASU. So I, fortunately get to hear Herm Edwards all the time.
Oh,
He
wow.
is so inspiring. It's amazing what they've done. It's amazing the recruits they've put into ASU. Yeah, they are a winning team, just like every sports team at ASU is now. They have really done everything that they need to do to really shore that up.
Yeah.
So, of course we're going to win.
Okay, good.
Of course we are.
Basketball, I'm always on the fence about, but I think definitely we're good in basketball.
No, I think the basketball,
They're strong.
it's the tides have turned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to go to a game together.
That'd be great.
Thank you for being here.
Of
I
course.
appreciate
Thank you,
it,
Jen.
and
Thanks
keep
for
doing all
having
the
me.
incredible things. You definitely inspire me, so
Yeah.
thank you for the things that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Now with Jen. We'll see you next time.